and that quick little dump, right? Does it have a good press release? Yes. Is it one we want to watch? Yes. Does the stock have room to run? Absolutely. We're above the 13 EMA. We're above the 50-day moving average. We're above the 200-day moving average. We're above all the all the indicators, right? This stock right here, if we kind of put a line right on the last time the stock had some resistance, it's kind of really around this like 125ish mark, right? Right along this like 125ish mark. Then from there, I don't really see anything too real clear cut. Maybe until this drop off right here at around like 155. So do I think again PULM has room to run? Yeah, it has room to run up towards previous chart history of maybe 155. It does have an old top right here, right around this 125ish mark. Looking at pre-market, this lower shadow is down towards around like 115ish. So again, the different options you have on PULM, which is going to get unhalted in 3 minutes, is either A, buy right at the bell for the stock to spike and rip and run right away, as a lot of traders are watching, a lot of traders are aware of this, and probably the majority of stock traders are waiting for the stock to get unhalted. After that, guys, what's something you can do? You can either A, sit back on it, wait for a pullback, then get in on a low entry, or C, again, you just don't do anything on it and you just kind of see what happens on it as it's kind of the first decent looking trade of 2020, right? So let's see what happens on PULM. PULM, I'm probably going to look for a pullback on the stock. And if I can get filled on it, well, that's great. If I can't get filled on it, well, then if the stock keeps going on up, 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 I just don't want to chase it. You guys know how I am. I just don't want to ever get into a stock late and just get absolutely destroyed. So definitely looking more for a little bit more of a pullback. If I can get filled at a low area, that's great. If I can't get filled on a low area and the stock spikes, hey, well, it's a great start of 2020 and only setting the tone for an awesome year ahead. This does look like it will be gapping up though, up towards around like 136, 137. So let's see where the stock opens up at. It's supposed to get unhalted in a minute and a half. Now, are there other plays out there? Absolutely. Like SES, this stock is a stock that has been making a nice climb throughout the day. SES 1 million in float play, talked about having a patent press release, and again the 1 million in float's really helping it. RCON 363,000 in float. Let's check out this really quickly. RCON, because if that float is really that low, that thing could easily steal the mob. What do we have here? RCON won a 3-year automation system bid. So a one, whenever you win anything, that's great, and that could possibly bring in some hype just because RCON's that float, right? SES doesn't really have that great of a press release, but it went on a massive spike this morning because it only has 1 million in float. But RCON even has a lower float than that with a press release behind it. If POLM can't hold on up, people may say, hey, you know what? Where can we get in on? Let's look at a super low float. RCON 2 million in float. So RCON Trade Ideas has that 800 million, or what was that? 363 million. Yahoo Finance has that at 2.5 million. So it's definitely on the lower float. Yahoo Finance has 2.5. Trade Ideas is under 1 million, so it's definitely underneath that area. So this thing could easily spike. RCON hasn't spiked in a little bit now. There are a few big time rips on RCON, like this one, gap up, big time spike to $26. So that definitely happens. PULM, guys. PULM, though, is live. PULM, we just came out. We are live right now on the stock. So this just came on out. And again, room to run up towards around this 155-ish mark. Let's see if we can get up towards 155. Old support is going to be back down towards around that 125 mark. And let's see if you can hit that 155 mark. Just came up to 154. There's 155. So there's the target reached on PULM. So at this area on PULM, I would suggest to lock in a little something. Lock in a little something. If you think there's more in the tank, only lock in half, only lock in a quarter. But at this point, lock in something so if the stock does fall, it's impossible for you to lose, right? And that's one of the best strategies ever, guys, where it's impossible for you to lose on a play. And why do I say that? Well, again, right now I know we're watching PULM go on a nice big spike, but if you get in here and a stock spikes on up, right, and you get out a little bit, let's say you sell half your shares here, even if the stock turns and falls, you locked in up here. So anywhere that you sell above that open, you're making money, and it's impossible for you not to make money. right? So that's such a great strategy. Now, again, is the stock still moving on up? Yes. So again, you know what else you can do? Maybe lock in 1/3 here. So again, you locked in here, you lock in here. Your average is going to be like right around there, and now wherever the stock falls, again, you're still up in profit. So right now, PULM, all traders are looking on this play. PULM, absolutely beautiful, right? And this stock is still moving at this time. 175 natural resistance, $2 looks to be next. Great start to 2020. A great start to the new year right here. And if this is what the new year wants to bring, hey, 2020 is going to be an awesome time. So right now, PULM, we're going to continue to keep this play on watch right here. This is definitely where all eyes are currently looking, but we do know the higher it goes, the more risk there is. But right now, up 103% currently, just trying to hold that 175-ish mark, 180 holding up right around the top. So PULM still again continuing to move. 180 seems like it's the top so far. 180 seems like it's the top so far. The old where the stock got unhalted right around 133ish. Now the old unholt would be the bounce play. The stock just went from about 90 cents, spiked all the way up towards around 180. The old unholt area, which would be right around this 133, 134 mark, would be where the stock would look to bounce at. So if you're saying, Deck, you know what? I don't want to buy a stock up 105%. Where would be the bounce play? Would be right around that 133-ish area. The only other thing I honestly want to watch is probably going to be, RCON to see if that stock can catch a little bit of fire. But PULM, no pullback at all. PULM opened and just shot on up, right? And this was just because what? This was just because every single trader was looking at PULM. We were looking at PULM. And again, you could think about our chat as a small scale to the whole entire world, right? We were looking at PULM. Guess what? Other communities were looking at PULM. Individual traders looking at PULM. People all around the world are looking at PULM. And why is that? Well, again, right now, SES is moving on up, but it doesn't really have a lot of fire towards it. Definitely has a little bit of attention, but doesn't have a lot of fire towards it, right? SAVA, is this one we want to look at? Had some insider buying this morning, right? Is it moving up? Yeah, it has a gap up, but it doesn't have any fire towards it. So right when PULM got halted on a spike, everyone said, okay, that's the stock I want to look at, right? Everyone said that's the stock I want to get involved with. So a lot of traders were, looking over on PULM, and that's just because it was one of the best plays with actual fire towards it. Now, PULM, guys, is one we need to be looking at throughout this morning, and I know it's going to be the one that you guys are going to want to play throughout the morning. But I do just want to go over the other plays in case things start falling on off as well. All right, so little side note, keep PULM on watch. Again, this says 180 top resistance. Bounce play would be back down towards around the 130s. All right. SES. If you guys are interested on SES, SES was granted a patent this morning. So SES was granted a patent. It is only 1 million in float on SES, and that's why this stock, let's go back to about a 3-minute time frame, this stock was able to have a gap up and be able to move very nicely. If you guys are interested on SES, $10 is the main resistance line that we broke above, so that should be holding up as support. If $10 cracks, the stock is done. If you guys are looking to play this right at the bell, put the stock on a trend line. And all you guys have to do is play the trend. As long as the stock holds the trend line, obviously it's bullish. If the stock breaks the trend line or cracks underneath it, that's where the stock goes bearish. So SES, very easy, very simple play where we have news, which is decent news. 1 million in float, which is why people bought it this morning. But right now, it's basically just set itself up on a nice trend line. As long as the trend line stays on the bullish side, it's good. If it goes to the bottom of the bearish side underneath $10, that's where it's going to get a little ugly. SAVA. What's going on with SAVA right now? Why are traders interested on this play? Well, this has been a fan favorite for the past few weeks now, as SAVA has gone from around $2 to all the way up towards $7. And why is this? Well, every single day it seems like SAVA keeps getting insider buying. So we just had the president and CEO right here buy yesterday 100,000 shares at 5.53, or on Tuesday, excuse me. So bought 100,000 shares of common stock at 553. If we look back, on SAVA, on my filing scanner right here, we go to SAVA and we go to filings. What do we have? 4 and 4, 4 and 4, 4 and 4, 4 and 4. Look how many 4 and 4s there are. Now, if you guys do not know what a 4 and 4 is, a 4 and 4 is insider buying. It means the company, the president, the CEO, whoever is buying shares. And that is, again, showing strength in that player, showing something big's coming on up, right? So SAVA has just been moving huge, and that's just been from the president and CEO been buying so many shares of the company, getting people excited about maybe something coming up in the future. So SAVA has just been moving up, up, up every single day, and they just bought 100,000 more shares of the stock. All right. So again, a little bit of a recap. PULM 180 top resistance does have that agreement on cancer, bringing in a lot of hype. Currently up 103%. 180 top resistance. Probably going to break that down right now. SCS on a trend line that was granted a patent this morning. 1 million in float. As long as it holds the trend line, it's bullish. If it cracks underneath it, it is bearish. SAVA. This stock has insider buying over the past few weeks. That's why the stock has been moving up so well. Did just get more insider buying on Tuesday of 100,000 shares. RCON. What's going on with this play? This is a 2 million in float stock. So again, a very low float stock. Trade Idea says that it's 363,000 that did win a 3-year automation system. So a low float stock does have a press release of them winning a 3-year automation system, which again, whenever you see the word win, obviously that's positive. You don't want to see, hey, they lost a 3-year, that would never be good. So win or one is always nice. And RCON's going to have some resistance, of course, at the 50-day moving average and 200-day moving average. If it could ever break through those lines, hey, things could get pretty crazy on it. But at the start, again, PULM is definitely looking like the best. MDGS did have a merger agreement. We'll keep that on watch to see if MDGS could get any hype towards it. We can also read a little bit more into this play. MDGS, it's 3 million in float, closes a merger. So again, issues 60% of its share capital to Scout Cam, becomes the whole subsidiary owner right here. So MDGS, also a low float play. All right. So these are all things I definitely want you guys to be looking at. Did RCON have a recent reverse stock split? If it did have a recent reverse stock split, that 363,000 could be correct, just because maybe Yahoo Finance didn't update, or if you guys ever see like Finviz says like 18 million in float. So we do have a 1 in 5 reverse stock split right here. So again, that is true. This is the first press release from that 1 in 5 reverse stock split. All right, hey, things could definitely get interesting on RCON today. RCON, I think things could definitely get interested. We have our first press release after a reverse stock split, and that usually, again, leads to a lot of momentum because the stock is so low in float. So RCON and PULM are kind of my top plays I'm watching. So I have RCON, PULM, which are the top plays I'm watching. SCS and SAVA, both plays we need to watch as well. And then MDGS is kind of my back burner play. So I'll just even type that out on saying stocks I am watching in order. Stocks I'm watching in order. We're going PULM and slash SCS, right? Or PULM, excuse me, and RCON. After that, we are going to be watching SCS slash SAVA. And then after that, what we're going to be watching is just MDGS. So that's kind of, where I'm looking at, top 5 stocks that I think, have some of the best potential, be able to take on off, be able to bring in some momentum, and be able to go from there. So those are the top stocks that I think, have some of the best potential, be able to get some nice ripping, some nice running towards it, and, get some nice hype. So all of them could definitely move. I just want to make sure, of course, you guys always, when can I buy them? Well, as we said, low 130 area would be the best bounce play on PULM. The low 130 area is the best bounce play on PULM. Okay, so that's where the stock got unhalted at. That would be detailed support. That's where the stock could be able to bounce at. So I do want to type that out and go PULM. Do low 130s would be the best bounce play on this stock, as this is where it was unholted. All right, so that definitely has a lot of potential to be a best bounce play. RCON, we really just want to see if this can get back above $3 and get back up towards around those highs. I mean, this thing has gone from 250 all the way up towards around 350. It can move quick. It really can move quick. The only troubling thing is the moving averages, right? 13 EMA, 50-day moving average, 200-day moving average. That's the only troubling thing I'm seeing over on RCON. It has to break through a couple, tough lines. And if it can't break through these tough lines, it's not going to be able to do anything. So RCON has to break through some of those tough resistance lines. PULM, I'm looking more for a bounce play down to 135. SCS, watch the trend line. As you guys know, trend lines are very simple to play. As long as the trend line holds, bada boom, you guys are all good, right? And I've shown you guys a million examples about that. And that just comes down to trend line trading, right? You got your bullish side, you got your bearish side. Bullish is top, bearish is bottom. So we are starting to test, SCS right now on the bullish and bearish side, right on that trend line. Be careful on it. And then SAVA also getting a little bit of life right here. If SAVA breaks through 750, that's where the stock, would most likely start getting some nice momentum towards it. All right. So do we have options today? Yeah, we got some options. There's definitely a few options here that could turn into, some very nice spikes, some very nice plays. A couple of people are saying, Deck, I was hoping that we'd see a little bit more of press releases now that we're in the new year. Most likely, guys, a lot of companies are waiting until the 6th, 7th, 8th, next week, as that is considered the first, full week of the year. So again, we're jumping in right now with what? Thursday and Friday left. Today and tomorrow. Most press releases are probably going to come out, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, as that's the first, week of 2020. But do we have action? Absolutely. Do we have volume right now? Absolutely. Can we be making some money today? Absolutely. Also, on top of that, we do have a lesson that I planned out. We are back on our regular trading schedule. And what does that mean? That means, again, our morning commentary and our afternoon trading commentary. Our morning commentary is usually from around 9 a.m. towards somewhere between 11:30 to 12 o'clock. And then we go from 2:30 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'll see what we can do today, make some money, make some big time trades. And then from there, we'll get into a nice lesson. From there, again, we'll get into any sort of recaps, any sort of questions, get ready for lunch hours as we get closer towards 12 o'clock, and then get ready for our afternoon trading commentary. So let's make a great Thursday ahead. Let's have some fun. Let's make some money. Guys, welcome to 2020. It is a brand new day with a brand new start of the year. Do not worry how you did last year. It's all about how you are going to do this year and make it your best year ever. So I'm so excited to be working with every single one of you guys. I'm so excited to see what's going to be coming on up today, and how we're going to be able to make that big time profit. So I'm really looking forward to it. All right. So right now, again, PULM is going to be my number one stock. Market is now open. So we are all good for a great day ahead. I do want to keep my eyes on PULM. I also want to keep my eyes on RCON, as I talked about. SCS, low float stock, trying to get a little bit of a pop right at the bell. So we do have SCS also getting a little bit of a pop at a bell. That was very quick, though. Went from 1030 to 1150, now back down to 1060. So that stock was just kind of, I feel like, just an initial reaction on a quick little spike, right? RCON starting to move up just slightly, and then we also have PULM, which is trying to move on up. As you guys know, I'm looking for more of a bounce play on PULM, and then RCON. I'm also keeping this on my back burner to see if that stock's going to be able to get any sort of nice momentum. Right now, I'm more just watching the high of the day momentum scanner. We do have RCON starting to get a little bit of hype right now. You can see it coming out on that breakout scanner up towards around that 308 mark. Good job so far to the people who've been, making some nice little profits. PULM trying to hold on up. RCON also, again, just fighting that 308 mark, trying to get a little bit of attention towards it. Does have support back down towards around 291, 13 EMA if you guys are interested on that play. Then you got your PULM bounce back on down towards the old Holt area. So I would like to see PULM have that one big pullback and then be able to spike right back on up. That's what I would like to see. Look at this. SCS, look how crazy SCS is. SCS is kind of my third or fourth watch where SCS went from 1025, spiked to 1150. Now it's down to 923, right? Just a lot of risk over there, right? A lot of risk down there. All right, PULM, we want this thing to crash a little bit. We want this thing to crash back down to its old Holt area. And then that's where we could be able to get a nice little bounce play on this stock and be able to see some nice potential behind it. We want this thing coming on down towards, low 130s, even maybe high 129s. And that's where, again, we could be able to make some nice money, be able to make some profit on this play. So PULM so far still trying to hold on up and also watching RCON. A little bit of TRIL. TRIL has also been one of those stocks that have been continuing to move on up over the past few weeks. Not really, again, a big time ripper every single day, but it has been moving up over the past few weeks. Right now, yep, again, Mr. Wendell, if you're in on the long side, that's great. Again, personally, as you know, my strategy, I'm just looking for a dip buy. So right now, PULM, I'm looking for the dip buy down towards, again, the low areas. I just think, again, that's the safest and the smart area coming out on top for a 2020 trade. RCON still looking for that $3 break to see if that's going to be able to get any sort of momentum. For that $3 break and some good action and good activity over there. How's F-Cell doing? F-Cell, not too much yet. F-Cell, this stock has been a nice mover over the past few weeks. We have just had, a couple nice continuation plays. A couple nice really continuation plays. If that's been F-Cell, that stock has been moving very well just on, some pure continuation and being able to move on up. I'm blanking out on the other one that, we've been seeing nonstop. I've also am looking at little Sino XRF to see if that's going to be able to move on up. Right now, again, looking at our top gainers, PULM's been on a little bit of a pullback. SCS has been dropping on off. SAVA dropped on off. RCON still trying to build a little bit. So, we're not missing any spike right now. Don't worry, we're not missing any spike. Right now, again, I'm still sticking with my top two options. I don't think anything needs to trade here, or nothing needs to change here yet. So nothing needs to change here just yet. I'm still sticking with my top two options, and that's PULM bounce and an RCON. If that stock could start getting a little bit more hype towards it. There are some big buyers on PULM right around that 150-ish mark. Right around that 150-ish area, there are some big buyers, about 40,000 shares I was seeing. You got RCON starting to creep its way on up a little bit. You got RCON creeping just slightly. RCON, let me get that right for you. So yeah, that stock's trying to slowly creep its way on up. Couple people have been saying that. A couple people have been saying that TD Ameritrade has been giving them some issues today. So if you are a person that's having some issues on TD Ameritrade, a couple people have been saying that. RCON, a little bit of a turn there. So RCON, a little bit of a drop. I personally have not seen any issues on my end with TD Ameritrade, but I have seen about 5 to 6 people in chat say that. So just want to give you guys that heads up. Right now, RCON coming on down. PULM is still fighting to hold that 150-ish mark. MDGS starting to get a little bit of pop. Now, MDGS, this is about the fifth stock we looked at. I'm going to put MDGS actually on the top level 2 for the moment. But MDGS on the top level 2. I'm going to move PULM down to the bottom. MDGS did close a merger agreement today. Does have room to run up to where? Up towards around 225 if this stock starts getting some fire behind it, which it's starting to. MDGS top level 2 right here, starting to get a lot of buyers starting to move over towards this play right now. So MDGS is starting to get a little bit of fire. We're talking about this play right now when it's along these $2 area. And again, the stock does have room to run. Closed a merger deal this morning. PULM seems like 150 support has been its best support line so far. You guys can see, 150 has been a very nice support line. Right, and then we have all the way back down towards around this 130-ish area as well. TRIL, TRIL, still moving on up. Again, this is one of those just continuation plays like TRIL or FCell that have just kind of been moving up consistently over the past few days. So TRIL, that one's the number 3 top gainer in the market. It's gone from 115 to 143. So I just want to type in top movers. Top movers so far, we do have TRIL, we have MDGS, we have PULM. These are all plays that are still holding on up very nicely. Now PULM does have 150 support so far. I'm still looking for maybe that 130-ish area for this stock to be able to get a nice bounce play. RCON, that stock is starting to turn a little bit right now, so we're not in RCON. So I'm still looking for my first trade of the day. PULM holding that 150 mark. We're going to see if that's going to be able to hold. SES, anything there? No. TRIL, that stock has room to go to 150. Look at SAVA. SAVA dumping on off pretty good right now. So SAVA dumping on off pretty good. RCON coming back on down. All right, so we're not missing anything. We're just, again, staying smart, staying safe. Yeah, let's see. A little break of the 13 EMA. Yep, PULM's looking for a little bit of that red to green move right now. If we turn off pre-market, what do we have, on this U shape? A little bit of that red to green move. Let's turn on pre-market just because we know we're going to have resistance up towards 185 because that's the pre-market highs. So if we check that out, pre-market highs, put that resistance right on top of the board. Now we know that's a resistance line. Now, if we want to, we can turn off pre-market, and we know that red line up here represents represents the pre-market highs, which would fall under detailed resistance. Again, how many different types of support and resistance lines we have? We have natural, right? We have past chart history pattern, and we have detailed. So again, PULM pre-market highs is going to be detailed resistance. I'm going to put PULM on the top right here. MDGS, try to get a quick pop, start coming back on down. What can we put as our number 2 play right now? Right? PULM obviously is number 1. SES not there yet. Maybe a re-break of $10 on SES things to get a little bit more spicy and more attractive. TRIL, TRIL still trying to hold on up. SES is actually starting to fall a little bit. TRIL up towards around that 150-ish mark. It's starting to get a little ugly. SAVA, nope. RCON, nope. PULM right now, starting to hit some new lows. PULM starting to hit some new lows, gotten a little bit of a drop. I still want to see if I could get filled for a bottom bounce play. I'm not seeing much, take on off yet. I'm not seeing too much, spike. So, I'm okay with just, maybe looking for a small little bounce and seeing if I can make some money. And as I said, guys, it seems like a lot of people are having some issues. A lot of people are having some trouble on TD Ameritrade right now. And that's probably just on their end at this moment. That they're just having a little bit of issues. So TD Ameritrade's website's down as well. Webull is down, so there must be something going on with some servers that everyone uses. Yeah, so for me right now, I personally don't have any, but I know again, just looking through chat, a lot of people are having some issues. But so be safe with your trading. Right now, again, This support line, if you're saying deck, where is that? Why you keep saying around this 130ish mark? Well, that was just because when the stock spiked this morning, it hit 130, hit 130, hit 130, hit 130, and then finally broke out above it. So that's how I'm coming up with that support line. Just it's a really old resistance line. Right now, PULM still our number one play. PULM still our number one play right here. SCS is starting to try to get back up towards around $10. SCS is trying to get back up towards around that $10 area. And again, that stock may try to look for a little bit of a red to green move. People are gonna. I definitely think traders are gonna try to push up a stock today. I definitely think traders are gonna try to push up a stock today. Traders are gonna try to make something happen. It's the first day of 2020. I know there's a lot of excitement. Now I know most news, as I was talked about, is going to come out. Most news is going to come out starting next week. But a lot of people, again, watch SCS to see if that stock could possibly break $10, and if traders just want to get something wild going over there. I could imagine it. I'm still just looking around to see what we have. And I'm not seeing anything just yet. Again, we have all the top gainers right here. We have a breakout scanner right here. We have the high of the day momentum scanner right here. Right now, SCS is trying to do it. So SCS just went up to 1040, back down towards around 996. So SCS is getting a little bit crazy with trying to make something happen. So SCS is trying to make this U shape happen here. Look how, again, I'm going to put SCS on the top level too for a moment. Look how wild SCS is getting. Watch the bids, how crazy they jump. They were just at 1040. Now they're at 945. Right now they're at 942, 935, 930, 928. A lot of action over there. Absolutely over on that play. Put PULM on the bottom at this moment. And right now, SCS came up, tested that $10 mark, and did get rejected. So again, came up to that $10 mark, starting to get a little bit of rejection. And right now, PULM, we're still waiting for that one last drop. We're still waiting for that one last drop to see if we can get, a little bottom bounce. And you may say, well, Deck, this stock has been kind of falling all day. Are you sure we're going to see any sort of bounce play? Again, I would stay a little bit on the smaller side, but it would be the best bet as of now. And why do I say that? Well, we don't have SAVA spiking. RCON's not spiking. JGX isn't spiking. TRIL is trying to hold on up, but that stock doesn't really have much volume. We're going from what, 64%? This stock was up 100% earlier this morning. SCS, this stock was up about 70% this morning, all the way down to 37, 26, 18. If a stock is going to turn into a top gainer today, unless there's a press release, most likely PULM is going to be the one, right? So most likely, PULM is going to be the one if there is going to be another breakout today. But it's just about trying to nail that perfect bottom area, and all I'm doing is just looking back in pre-market and seeing where did the stock consolidate before the spike. Even if it goes from 130 up towards the old highs of 162 or so, not the old highs, but these old highs right here. I mean, that's a 30-cent climb right there on possible some good volume, or some good shares. You could definitely make some profit. So looking forward to possibly that coming on up. Right now, nothing on the high of the day momentum scanner since or breakout scanner since 936. Finally, just had one. JAGX just came on up a little bit, so it just went from 936 to 945. Little bit light so far. Still looking for the best volume. Still looking for the best play. Marco said he just got off the phone with TD Ameritrade, says they are having issues, so that is confirmed. If you are not having issues with TD Ameritrade, well, then that's great. Right now, again, a little bit light, as I already talked about as well, though, guys. I do have a lesson planned for today, which I think is going to be absolutely awesome. The lesson planned for today is going to be how can we tell the difference between a pullback and when a stock is actually reversing and starting to dump, right? So, that's a very important lesson. And something a lot of traders have. How many people have ever got in and looking for a dip buy and the stock just kept going, 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 right? So, that's what we're going to be going over today. How can we tell the difference, and what are some tips that I can give you? Tell you, hey, you know what has the best potential to be able to be just a dip buy, or if the stock is going to actually turn and dump on you. New highs on the SPY, new highs on the SPY right here. So that is bringing us all the way on up. We can add that VWAP over on PULM. PULM. Here's another little bounce. I don't think it's at the main bounce though yet. Gonna add the VWAP. Yep, currently testing right at that area. So I can turn off pre-market. See PULM starting to get a little bit of a break. SCS really faded on off after that $10 touch again. $10 has been so strong. And again, look at this real quick. $10, as we call it, the second strongest resistance line in penny stocks. And we can see the $10 touch, hit right here, hit right here, hit right here, hit right here, broke it for a moment, and then dumped underneath. So $10 is very, very tricky, right? We can last right here, back on November 8th, we hit $10 and fell. We also see back on October 17th, we hit that $10 mark and started fading on off, right? So, SCS right here has a lot of $10 resistance. If that's, again, hitting right at that $10 mark and fading back in October, or hitting it in November, or coming up towards $10, right along these marks, right? So we just always got to be careful with SCS. We got to be very careful with that $10 mark and make sure we stay above it, right? PULM, this play, is still fighting and just trying to get back up to where it was. Didn't come down to where I wanted to get my entry, but the stock right now is still building some lower lows. Is FCell trying to move on up? FCell? FCell's trying to grind a little bit. I'm going to put FCell on the bottom level too, so we can keep our eyes peeled over there. Sorry. So yeah, FCell, we're going to keep that on the bottom level too. Right now, I know we're hungry. I know you guys are hungry. It's 2020. What are some of your goals for 2020, guys? I'm so excited to hear about them. What you guys want. I know right now we're all focused on our stock trade, so we can talk about it a little bit later. But make sure you guys write those goals out. PULM starting to get a little bit more action. PULM working its way back on up. Again, we are going to have our light resistance back at the old high of the day, so we can put that horizontal line and then make this in a lighter pink, right? So, and what do we have right here? As you guys know, right, anything in blue will always be support. Light blue means lighter support, right? Dark blue is going to be stronger support. Okay? So we have what? We have light support at 140 with our super strong support at 130. We have light resistance at the high of the day around 175 with top resistance around after hours pre-market high or excuse me, pre-market highs at 185. Okay? And that's just by, again, looking at pre-market where I got that number at. So if I turn that off, we see support, support. We have resistance, resistance. So PULM, this stock is starting to move its way back on up so far. Never came down to the low 130s, but it is getting a nice little U shape and a nice little bounce. What do we got? White Diamond looking to make 100K. $500,000, doubling my account every quarter. Empowered to transition to a full-time day trader. Taylor Trader going for that million. Hey, that's awesome. You guys know I'm going for that million this year. I plan on making 2020 my biggest year ever. And that's what I'm gonna do. You guys are going to see a crazy drastic difference when I start up my $100,000 account from what I'm doing now to what I will be doing. From the amount of shares I buy to what I buy to how much I buy. I'm going aggressive. I'm going hard. Right now, again, I'm still in the process of funding my account. So that didn't start yet, but it's going to be starting up, very shortly. And when that is, you guys are going to see a drastic difference. Right now, a reason as well why we may not be seeing as many big time spikes is because TD Ameritrade isn't working, right? So, when we see stocks, go on big time spikes, guys, what is that from? That's from people all buying that play, right? So if we have, right, let's just say all these dots right here represent the millions and millions and millions of traders, right? All these dots right here represent the millions of traders out in the world. And people in the blue, let's say, maybe use E-Trade. People in the green maybe use TD Ameritrade, right? Maybe some of these people in the red, these are long traders, these are short traders, right? And let's make sure that this ball right here represents, everyone that trades in the stock market. Now, if TD Ameritrade is having issues today, right? And we know probably, I would probably say the two biggest brokers in the country are going to be TD Ameritrade and E-Trade, right? And if that's right here, we have to take a huge amount out. Boom, right? Boom, 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 boom. And you know what just happened? We just lost, not everyone, but a good amount of people that can go ahead and place orders or want to place orders because their broker right now is having trouble. So we just went from a good amount of traders to maybe a little bit later on the trader side, right? And that's just because they can't get in or they're scared to get in because they're scared they're going to be stuck with their broker, right? So what makes big time spikes spike? Hundreds of millions of people playing it. But if we cut that down, the amount of people can't play, we may not see as many spikes. And TD Ameritrade having all these issues so far today, and you could see people in chat being like, "Oh, what's going on with my TD Ameritrade account?" Some people don't want to get involved with that play until that's 100% fixed. So you do got to be careful with that. Trevor, welcome back, buddy. Always awesome to have you. So excited. Yeah, so PULM, we're going to continue to keep rise peeled. You have a couple different little broker issues. PULM, still keeping that one on watch. Any questions about today? Definitely let me know. Yep, I think Rapid's going to be starting back on up either tomorrow or on Monday. Just taking some time to himself for the new year, which again, completely understandable. Right now, we saw PULM still falling. And the thing is, it's like, if you're saying you haven't traded yet today, it's okay. It's not like you wanted to be trading SES. You would got caught up at a $10, drop, a $10 touch, and the stock would dump on off. TRIL hit 140, the stock dumped on off. RCON's looking to make a little bit of a return. RCON's looking for a little bit of a return. Let's keep our eyes peeled over there. See if RCON could possibly make something happen. I would love to get involved with RCON. That would be nice. And why am I saying that? Just because RCON has a couple different reasons on why the stock can go on a pop. Number one, it had a reverse stock split about 3 days ago. Number two, the stock did just come out with a press release this morning, and it's a low float play. So if we look right here, RCON, and we check out the news right here, we do have a reverse stock split that came out in the 26th, and then we did win a 3-year automation system. So right now, RCON, guys, is starting to get a little bit of hype. a little bit of attention, a little bit of volume, and starting to make its way on through here as traders are saying, hey, I'm bored. I want something to trade. I want to get involved with something here. And traders are looking to get involved with something over on RCON. 363,000 in float. This stock has room to run up to where? That 200-day moving average. Let's see if it's going to be able to hold again. Right now, it's having some trouble at around that $3 mark, but traders are trying to get, that break of RCON to get something going right now, right? You can see a lot of people flooding over towards the stock saying, hey, let's make something happen. 50-day moving average is 338, so that's where the stock could possibly get up to. Support is back down towards around that 296 area. Let's see if it can consolidate. Can it consolidate and hold? That would be the best bet, but turn all attention over to RCON right now on this U shape. It did have a press release this morning, and on top of that, it did have a reverse stock split. Stock trying to move on up right now, having a little bit of resistance. Again, it got up towards around 318 as the high, but it is looking to get a little bit of a break. RCON starting to get a little bit of volume. I am going to do 1,000 shares, 1,000 shares. I'm going to give RCON a chance here to see if this stock's going to be able to go on any sort of break or get any sort of momentum towards it. So I'm going to go small, 1,000 shares, see if this stock's going to be able to break on out and be able to move at least up towards that 200-day moving average. Okay, I'm going to give it support down towards probably 305. So probably down towards around 305 is where I could get in on this, or excuse me, is where I would have the stop loss at. My cost basis right now is right around 322. So I actually may give it around $3. Cost basis for me is right on 322. So I'm going to give RCON a chance. First stock, giving the stock a chance. Let's see if it's going to be able to work out. And this is just because I'm not really seeing much else out there, right? It's like that. The stock is getting a little bit of a crack. I'm definitely going to have to probably lock in right here. Gave it a chance. Gave it a chance. But unfortunately, again, getting a little bit of a crack. Got to sell. Got to move on with this one. Got to sell. Got to move on with RCON for me just because it came back and hit my stop loss. And that, I want to, again, hop in on these plays and be able to make some money. Just seems like everything that's trying is, getting a little bit on the lower side. RCON, though, I did just take a loss. 100%. I did just take a loss on this play. What does it have that I like? The stock did open up right around $3. The stock did U-shape up and around, right? The stock does have a perfect break on a U-shaped pattern, right? At that $3 break. It was, moving on up very nicely. But, just like many other places that we're seeing these stocks, come back on down. So I don't really think this is a pump and dump. This is not really a pump and dump. A pump and dump is when a stock goes straight up and straight on down for no reason. RCON does have a U-shaped pattern. RCON does have what? 1 to 5 reverse stock split that happened a few days ago, which lowered its float. RCON does have a 3-year automation system that came out this morning, which it won. So again, reverse stock split, which made a lower float. 3-year win contract. We also have a U-shaped pattern, break of the open on a red to green move. It was worth the chance of, seeing the stock possibly break out, especially because why also? Nothing else has been consistently moving on up. Really? So, that's really just comes down to knowing as well, not really too much else is moving. Is PULM turning into that massive top gainer we want? No. Is SCS turning into that massive top gainer we want? No. Is TRIL turning into that massive top gainer we want? No. So once RCON starts making a U-shaped pattern, a thought process is definitely, hey, you know what? Not much else is moving. Let me hop in on this play. Hopefully, you can catch a little bit of fire. So I did just take a loss on RCON. Play that stock probably 9 out of 10 times. It really just came down to the news, the U shape, the low float, and on top of that, nothing else is moving. And I know traders definitely want to try to find some big time action today. So again, I just always want to back up my reasoning on why I bought in on that play, and I don't want anyone to ever be confused on, of course, why I got in on that, right? So I don't want anyone to ever be confused on why I got in on that. I don't want anyone to be confused on If I was just buying randomly, I always have credibility on all my plays. And as I said, I would buy that one 9 out of 10 times. That was one of the top ones I was here. We're just not seeing a lot spike, and that could be for multiple reasons. What could be all the multiple reasons on why stocks aren't spiking right now? Well, number one, we had TD Ameritrade, which is definitely starting to work better right now, but they have been down for about the first hour of the day, right? For about the first hour of the day, TD Ameritrade wasn't working. So that definitely hurt a little bit of volume. What else hurt a little bit of volume? We are in the new year, which is great, but most companies aren't going to put out their brand new press releases until 2020, right? So that's going to have a little bit of, that's going to definitely hurt a little bit of volume as well, especially being down towards the end of the week, right? Also, what also hurts a little bit of volume is nothing did be able to spike and held on up. So what does that set the tone in traders' mindsets, right? Stock trading is all psychology. There's so much psychology involved, right? Imagine you are going through a haunted house, right? And let's say on the first corner of the haunted house, right, someone jumps out at you. Someone jumps out at you, and what do? You scream and you're like, ah, okay? So now you walk to the second corner of that haunted house, and someone jumps out at you. And then you scream, you go, ah. And then the third corner, the same thing. What do you think you're going to expect with the fourth corner? Where someone you're going to say, okay, I know someone's going to probably jump out at me because that's what's happened the last few times. Now relate that to the stock market. Well, what did we see? We didn't see, PULM be able to hold on up after its spike. We didn't see SES be able to hold up after its spike. We haven't seen TRAL hold up after its spike. So RCON, kind of traders are saying the same thing. Hey, SES, buy it, lock in your profit when you have it. It dumps on off. SES, hey, buy the stock, lock in your profit when you have it. It dumps on off. TRIL, buy the stock, take your money when you have it, because it dumps on off. RCON is doing the same thing. So RCON doing the same thing. Does that make sense to everyone, though? Just want to make sure that you guys do get that and, understand where I'm coming from, as that's very, very important. So my first trade right here of 2020 on the red side, but you know what? I'm still very, very excited. I'm still looking forward. This is not part of my $100,000 account as well. So I like this play. I like this trade. It's just again a lot of traders right now are all saying to themselves, "Hey, you know what? After a spike happens, I got to be able to get out quick, especially with TD Ameritrade having issues." Silja fan, I'm beating deck this year. No, I'm just kidding, man. Hey, I'm rooting for you, buddy. I'm rooting for you. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. I hope you outbeat me because I plan on having the biggest year of 20, biggest year I ever had in stock trading. So if you outbeat me, that would be absolutely awesome. All right, right now 10:04. Let me look around for a few different plays. Give me 1 second here, team. I want to see if I can find anything that's consistently slowly moving on up. We'll do this as a team as well. Just give me one moment, and I'll be right back, and we'll go over absolutely everything to see what stocks are moving on up. Also, I have a great lesson planned, as I talked about before, talking about what's the difference between a pullback and a reversal, and what are some tips and tricks to help us understand when a pullback's happening and when a reversal's happening. All right, so we're actually going to dive into that lesson in probably about 30 minutes. But right now, it's still a little early to dive into a lesson. I still think there's action and possible opportunities. So let me give me a few minutes right here to see if I can find anything good, and then we'll be all set, ready to rock and roll at around 10:30 for our lesson as well. All right, so let's see what we have right here. OSX, deck. Could we say PULM has a reversed head and shoulder pattern? Let's see, PULM. Uh, I mean, what if you're saying like shoulders here, heads down here, and a shoulders here? I mean, I could definitely understand maybe what you're thinking. It's a little bit tough to see. For me, I would more just say, hey, VWAP is holding up as resistance, and our support line is currently at that 140 mark. Burrow Calamari, anyone know why Rapid Financial is not here? Again, Rapid kills it every single day. We just had New Year's last night. He's probably, just chilling, sleeping in a little bit. I talked to him a good amount as well. If he wants to take a day off, that's absolutely okay. That's the part about being a stock trader, right? Being a stock trader is you don't have to work 9 to 5. He wants to take a day off. He gets that. Yeah. Thoughts on NIO? NIO for the break of $4. You just be looking for you're just looking for any more volume. The only thing I'd be nervous of is that $4 touch and maybe a slight little break up to like 405, where then it hits and then gets rejected. But do I like NIO? NIO has been a very nice mover back on Monday, where the stock went on a beautiful climb. Today it's having some trouble, but it's also consolidating. Yes, definitely probably the re-break of like 410. That's going to bring in a lot of volume, and the stock could possibly slowly move its way all the way back up to that $5 mark. Do I love it? No, but do I like it and think it's worth keep it on watch? Absolutely. Right now, all good. Yep, I'll post my P&L. Senates, I'll post my P&L right now. Again, I always like to do that. So no problem. Here's my P&L. Just took a screenshot of that, and I will post that right over into chat. As always, I'm always honest, open, transparent. There is my RCON P&L trade. So there's that right there, and that is a loss. So yep, if you guys want to see that, that is my trade. And as always, whenever you guys want to see a P&L, doesn't matter what trade it is, I will always show you. No problem whatsoever. All right, so let's go through again. Everyone watch the top gainers right here. Everyone look at the top gainers at this time, and let's work our way down, and let's see what we have. So let's talk about every single play. Let's work our way down. Then we're going to go into a recap and talk about some of these plays. So number one right here, PULM. The game plan that you would want is it needs to get above the VWAP. What do we call the VWAP? The VWAP is the flexible trend line. That's also like the 13 EMA as well. But the VWAP is going to tell us when a stock is bullish, when a stock is bearish, right? It is so important to only be trading stocks when it's below the VWAP is usually for a dead cat or a very low of the day bounce, right? So make sure you guys go to the video library as well. Check out this lesson if you guys have not, saying what is the VWAP, and of course you guys can learn more about the VWAP if you guys do not know much about it. But the VWAP is holding up as resistance. Then we have 140 support where it bounced off last time, and 130 is the old unhold area back in pre-market where the stock could definitely bounce at, which has not happened yet, but is definitely trying to hold on up. All right. So again, PULM something we need to be looking at. Definitely has some good potential. SES, is there anything on this play? Well, VWAP is holding up as that strong resistance line, right? Notice not only is $10 strong resistance, right, but we also have that VWAP, which is a very strong resistance line and is holding up, making sure traders are not buying the stock because it's staying on the bearish side, right? Staying on the bearish side, right? What else are we going to be looking at? TRIL. TRIL 145 is holding up as its top resistance line. Again, let's put that in red. We also have slight little higher lows that I'm seeing. Slight little higher lows that I'm seeing on the stock. That's going to be able to build higher lows and maybe set up a triangle, which would be an ascending triangle pattern for a possible squeeze. So TRIL, I'd be looking for an ascending triangle squeeze pattern here, and that's where this stock could do what? Possibly get tighter and tighter and tighter until it breaks on out. And that what you'd be looking for is something like this. right? So what you'd be looking for is something like this, where you have our top resistance. The stock keeps moving up and gets tighter and tighter until it forms that corner. And when it gets into that corner, that's where it can break on out. When it gets in that corner, that's where it can go on that nice rip. And when it gets in that corner, that's where it can go on that big time run. So TRIL is the same exact thing as what you're looking for on SCON for that ascending triangle breakout. Okay. SAVA, trying to make some sort of U shape happen here. So we do have SAVA. This stock is trying to make some sort of U shape happen here. We're gonna have our light support line right around the $7 mark. You can see at $7, this is where it got rejected in the past, right? Right when it tried last time, right at $7, and then we actually have the old high of the day up towards around that 725ish area. So right around that 725, 726 area is the old high of the day. But then we also have that $7 mark where it's having a little bit of trouble. But SAVA, this is old insider buying, trying to get some ripping towards it. So let's put SAVA up on the top level 2 right now. See what that play could possibly do. SAVA up on the top level 2, starting to get a little bit of movement. Yep. So support on TRIL is more of just the trend line. SAVA, let's see what happens here. Because SAVA, what do we know? Out of the past few plays that moved in, out of the past few plays, what has been the trader mindset? The trader mindset has been, hey, stocks spike, people lock in their gains, and then it dumps on off, right? So let's see if SAVA is going to be able to hold $7 because just like RCON was trying to break what? That like $3 mark, right? It broke it for a moment and then came crashing on down. So is SAVA going to break $7 and then come crashing on down right after that? Right now you can see SAVA. SAVA doing exactly what I was talking about, just trying to hold that $7 mark and not breaking. What do we have here? Jason, is the breakout scanner frozen since 9:57? Nope. Again, I'm scrolling up and down on it right now. There just hasn't been a breakout since 9:57, since RCON. The breakout scanner picked up RCON when that one is moving on up, but there hasn't been anything since. SAVA has definitely tried to get a little bit of volume, but it's not really hitting any new high of the days, so that's why it's not coming up on the breakout scanner. So again, for it to come out of the breakout scanner, it would have to be hitting new high of the days. Because right now SAVA is still technically, underneath its open. Right now, there you just got one ALGR, a little bit of volume, but again, ALGR's got nothing really. So look at this, guys. Same exact thing that we just saw on RCON is starting to happen over on SAVA. Almost the same exact thing. So right now, SAVA does have VWAP support. SAVA's got good volume, has good volume, which is going to be able to help it. But again, the VWAP isn't down towards around that 670 mark. So 670 is where that stock is maybe coming down before, again, it gets any sort of bounce. I mean, right now it's currently at that 685-ish area. And this is, where people kind of get in trouble, just like, RCON. It's just the same theme. People again have the same theme in their head. Oh, RCN spikes and dump, and that's just because that's what so many other people did as well, right? And we talked about this. We talked about this, many times. Right now that's the theme. Traders see the stock spike, they lock in their gains, they're getting fake out breakouts, right? What's a fake out breakout? A fake out breakout is when a stock has a good chart pattern, pops up above its resistance line, people buy in, but then a lot of people sell on off and the stock comes on down. Fake out breakout is when you think the stock's going to be able to go on a nice big breakout and just come back on down. A lot of times this is from market conditions. A lot of times this is from a lack of buyers after the break of resistance, right? You guys can go right over to the video library, type in the word fake out, and you guys are going to have fake out breakouts right here. You guys are going to be able to learn all about them. So fake out breakouts, how to try to avoid being caught up in fake out breakouts. Also, again, just a little heads up, a couple people were asking me about those options, right? The option boot camp. Option boot camp right here. I saw options boot camp number 1, options boot camp number 2. If you guys are interested, go ahead and check that out. And that's over in the video library. Right now, SAVA coming all the way back down to its VWAP line, and you could see same exact thing happen. Now, what was let's review today. We're gonna review today. We've gone over game plans. We've talked about the different plays that have been moving. Let's do a little bit of a review today, and let's all get in the same mindset. All right. So today is the first day of trading for 2020. That's absolutely awesome. That's absolutely great. I'm so excited for this year. But what we do need to understand is that we are not, starting off a brand new week. We're not starting off fresh right here. We're starting off on a Thursday. All we have is this morning, this afternoon, and then tomorrow morning, right? Most press releases that are going to be explosive are probably going to starting on Monday. And why is that?